This will be my story between Lin, an affair with my sister-in-law. Today, that till I hope for forgiveness. My elder brother's life took a romantic turn during one of his business trips to Vietnam, where he met Lin. She wasn't just any ordinary find. Lin was a gem, a blend of grace and vitality that immediately caught my brother's heart, leading him to bring her back to our family home in Hong Kong. Lin, in her 20s, possessed a beauty that was both serene and striking. Her fair skin was flawless, enhancing her perfect slim figure. With measurements of 36-24-36, she was absolutely captivating. Despite being Vietnamese, Lin's fluency in Chinese was impressive, allowing her to charm her way into our family's hearts with ease. She quickly became a beloved member of our household. Living with my parents and my brother's family, including Lin, I was drawn to her in a way I hadn't anticipated. Our home, filled with the usual flow of family life, became the backdrop for something far more complex. Lin and I, perhaps because of the closeness that living under one roof fostered, began to share glances that lingered a shred too long, conversations that delved deeper than expected, and eventually we found ourselves entangled in a forbidden affair. This relationship, marked by physical intimacy, was shrouded in secrecy, pulling us into a vortex of passion, guilt, and an ever-mounting dread of the potential consequences. In the context of my family's wealth, I've been afforded a life of leisure that many can only dream of. With no pressing need to work, thanks to the family business capably run by my brother, my days are largely my own to fill. This abundance of free time allowed my relationship with Lin to flourish in ways neither of us initially expected. Our love, hidden from the prying eyes of the world, found refuge in the anonymity of hotel rooms, where we could be just another couple in love, basking in the glow of our passion without the weight of judgment and expectation. Lin, with her ethereal beauty, became the center of my universe. Our connection, deep and multifaceted, was punctuated by days spent in blissful seclusion and public outings that felt like daring adventures. Despite being a secret, our relationship bore all the hallmarks of a conventional romance, shopping together as we explored the city's streets, sharing meals that felt like intimate celebrations of our love, and retreating to our private sanctuary to revel in our physical connection. However, Lin's stunning appearance and the palpable chemistry between us did not go unnoticed. Whisperings and sidelong glances followed us. It was clear that envy simmered among acquaintances and strangers alike. Lin's beauty, which drew people to her, also cast a spotlight on our relationship, making our attempts at discretion increasingly difficult. Yet within the cocoon of our love nest, such concerns seemed distant, irrelevant even. We were consumed by our affection for each other, indulging in every moment with the intensity and recklessness that comes with forbidden love. As the days passed, the initial thrill of our secret liaison with Lin gave way to a growing sense of unease. The reality of our situation, once obscured by passion and desire, became increasingly clear and impossible to ignore. I was acutely aware of the wrongness of our actions, not just in the eyes of society, but also in the potential harm they could inflict upon my family, especially my brother. Driven by a mix of guilt and fear, I made a desperate decision to end the affair. My strategy was to threaten to bring our secret into the open, hoping the mere possibility of such chaos would shock us back into propriety. It was a bluff, fueled by my fear of the fallout, but one I hoped would sever the tie that bound us. Initially, Lin acquiesced, her agreement to cease her advances offering a glimmer of hope that we might return to a semblance of normalcy. But this fragile peace was shattered when I began seeing someone new. Lin's reaction was visceral, a mix of jealousy and pain that I had underestimated. She became insistent, almost desperate, declaring that my heart belonged solely to her. Her confessions of love, laced with tears and a vulnerability I had not fully seen before, revealed the depth of her feelings. Lin's admission of selfishness, combined with her dramatic expressions of not wanting to live without me, underscored the intensity of our entanglement. Her willingness to risk everything, even to the point of threatening to expose our affair if it meant keeping me close, marked a turning point. The realization that our secret could no longer be contained within the walls of hotel rooms or hidden behind whispered promises became a heavy burden. Lynn's declaration that she couldn't bear the thought of me with someone else brought our clandestine relationship into stark relief, highlighting the unsustainable nature of our connection and the pain it was bound to cause. As the affair between Lynn and me reached its zenith, the fabric of our secret world began to unravel, revealing the stark realities we had long tried to ignore. The emotional roller coaster of our relationship, marked by passionate highs and desolate lows, took a dramatic turn with the discovery of Lynn's pregnancy. This revelation brought with it a whirlwind of emotions, chief among them confusion and fear. The paternity of the baby, a question that hung heavily between us, remained unanswered, adding layers of complexity to an already fraught situation. In the wake of this news, Lynn underwent a profound transformation. The fiery intensity that had once defined her demeanor seemed to cool, giving way to a calm and deliberate distance. It was as if the reality of her pregnancy instilled in her a newfound resolve, perhaps a clarity about the future she envisioned for herself and her child. Lynn's decision to return to Vietnam, to bring a new life into the world there, was met with a mixture of relief and sorrow on my part. Her reasons remained her own, shrouded in the same mystery that had once drawn me to her. But the decision lifted a weight from my shoulders. The prospect of Lynn carrying the next generation of our family back to her homeland, away from the tangled web we had woven in Hong Kong, offered a strange sort of solace. Yet, it did little to ease the guilt that nestled in the core of my being. The betrayal of my brother, the potential fracturing of our family, and the secrets that had become too heavy to bear marked a turning point in my life. Lynn's departure and the space it created allowed me to reflect on the choices I had made and the consequences they wrought. The quiet that followed her absence was not peace, but a respite from the storm of emotions that had defined our relationship. As I grappled with the complexities of love, loyalty, and betrayal, I realized that the path to forgiveness, both seeking it and offering it to myself, would be a long and arduous journey. In the end, the unresolved question of the baby's paternity remained, a silent testament to the recklessness of our actions. Lynn's decision to grow distant, to seek a fresh start in Vietnam, was a bittersweet conclusion to our story. While it offered an escape from the immediate turmoil, the deeper scars left by our affair would take far longer to heal. The weight of carrying a family secret, of living with the knowledge of betrayal, was a burden I would bear long into the future, a constant reminder of the cost of our forbidden love.